yes indeed, the sounds of Foreigner cold as ice. Come on, don't tell me it wasn't appropriate. My name is Total Biscuit. I almost said my name is Blue Please, and this is the Total Biscuit Show. Yeah. Awesome. I'm gonna do with puppets and everything. Right, now, some of you might be thinking, well, Total Biscuit's obviously gone soft in this hiatus that he's been on. He's not insulted Blizzard once in this show. Okay, that's about to change. You didn't think I was gonna let Blizzard get off entirely scot-free, did you? Well, I want to talk a little bit about the kind of challenges that Blizzard are probably going to end up facing over the next few months. But what I'd like to initially say is, if you want to get your topics in for the Illusion of Choice, then do so by emailing themoloch@gmail.com. And we have a new sample for that, which has no sense whatsoever. It's the Illusion of Choice! Yes. I'm shattering your dreams. That's the noise. If I were able to shatter your dreams over the internet, which I'm pretty sure I am, that would be what it sounded like. Assuming you weren't deaf with despair! Yeah. Right. Let's talk about this. Blizzard hasn't got everything entirely right. No. Right, well, here's the thing. I see... I don't even know what I'm about to say, do I? I was going to kind of launch into this tirade, and I hadn't even thought of a staging point for it, so I'm like... I sound like a ghoul. It's horrible. Let's start it again. Let's rewind. Yep. So, here's the problem with Blizzard. Blizzard has got all of these great ideas, and they put all of these great ideas into the game to stop all of these horrible things from happening. And I'm going to tell you what those horrible things are in a minute. And yet, they didn't use them enough, so they happened anyway! Okay, let's think about this for a moment. What are the two big problems? Actually, do I have two big problems? No, actually, I don't. Let's go with this. What is the one big problem with the launch of an expansion? Well, here's the answer. The one big problem with the launch of an expansion is because everybody starts in the same area. But it's okay, because Blizzard fixed that by splitting the huge horde of people in half. So it's okay, you've only got half of 75 billion in one area instead of the full 75 billion. Great. Awesome. Not. Now, here's the problem. With so many people, you have issues competing for quests. And Blizzard thought of a couple of cool ways around that in the Burning Crusade, you might remember. A couple of ways. The first, the flagging method. The flagging method involves killing something and then dumping a flag on its corpse, or dumping a flag in an area. What that basically means is that you can do it without having to actually tag the mob. It didn't matter if you tagged the mob or not, you could flag it. You could stick a stake in it, a flag in it, whatever. The second method was something which I've forgotten. Yes, the pickup method. And the pickup method involved this. The killing of a quest mob would drop an item which would stay on the floor and could be picked up by anybody. It wouldn't be necessarily on the corpse, it would be like an item that appeared on the ground and you could click it, and regardless of whether or not you killed the mob, you were able to get the quest item. Now, that was pretty smart. Well, it was very smart, in fact. Some people complained about it because they said, oh, well, there's all these people just going around and stealing our quests. I'm sorry, that's kind of like the RIAA's argument. You're stealing our songs. What? I mean, do you have less of them now that I took them? No. The way that it works is that quests aren't ever all that hard. And if you object to somebody else kind of piggybacking on you, then, well, I think there's a few more important things to worry about in your life, fella. Anyway, it was a good method, and it made sure that particularly desirable quest mobs were not over-farmed, over-camped, and all that kind of thing. And you'd think that they might kind of carry that on just a little bit into the Burning Crusade. The Burning Crusade. There's too many expansions, it hurts my head. Yes. Wrath of the Lich King is what I'm talking about. I have a drumstick in my right hand. Why is this? I don't know, but I'm going to wave it at the screen in a menacing manner, because it gets my point across. Now, they put it in some places, but not all. For instance, there's an early quest which involves the killing of various mobs until these, I say boss mobs, they're not really, these named mobs appear. Now, it doesn't matter if you kill them or not, you get to stake them with a flag. It doesn't matter if you're the one who killed them or tagged them. As long as you did, I think you might have to do some damage to them, but I'm not sure. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, if you don't kill it, you can still flag it. You stick a flag in its corpse, and that's it. That's you winning the quest. Good method. Why is it a good method? Because if there's 55 people there, it's still pretty easy to do, because you're not being stopped. What other ones have we got? Well, we don't really have any of the dropping on the ground style quests, at least nothing I've seen so far. But what we do have, unfortunately, are the old style quests. I'm going to name 2 for you that I think are the worst things ever devised by man. First one goes by the name of adding injury to insult. This quest involves you taking an item, and this item is a scroll, and it has a horrible insult about this boss's mother and farm animals. I'm not actually kidding, this is the actual quest text here. And you've got to go and insult this guy, and you've then got to lead him into a trap and kill him. Or you can solo him if you happen to be an arcane mage, which I found rather amusing. But anyway, there's a problem with this. Firstly, this mob flies in from the sky every 10 or so minutes. So you think, okay, that'll be fine, we'll just read the insult to him. Wrong! It's not that easy, because you can't read the insult to him until he lands, and then you've got to read the insult to him. It's about a 4-second cast. But only one person can do it! At a time! I'm not kidding. The quest requires you not only to kill him, but to also have read the insult to him. So, if you are not part of a group that has read the insult to him, and indeed I've actually heard reports that people who have been in groups where the insult has been read have not actually got that part of the quest, but I'm not going to go too much into that because that sounds just like a bug rather than an intentional design flaw. Anyway, one group grabs it, or one guy grabs it before you because of latency or whatever reason. You have to wait another 10 minutes! It's awful! Why did they do that? Come on! I mean, you came up with all these methods, you could have obviously seen this coming. And it's not the only one, there's another one which involves the spawning of 3 specific mobs. And you have to go kill them. I think it's like... I can't remember the name of the quest, I'm not even going to pretend. It's across from Avengers Landing. It involves killing these 3 named mobs. And... again, these mobs spawn, and if you don't tag them, of course, you don't get the kill. No flag method, no drop method. You just don't get it. You have to wait around for ages. Now, I was having to deal with guys that grouped up in huge groups and just start spamming Holy Nova over and over and over again. And they, of course, the ones that tag the mob as soon as it spawned. Standing wherever it spawned. No random spawns, anything like that. Spawns at the same place every time. The drumstick's in my hand again. So agitated again at it. And it's not the only one. Here's another quest. It goes by the name of the Artifact of Steelgate. The Artifact of Steelgate involves you getting 10 of these things which you click on. They're bits of stone, tablets, whatever. Now, here's the problem with these stone tablets. You'd think, if there were quest items on the ground, like in previous quests, that if there's, you've seen these before. There's quite a few quests where you've got to collect a certain number of these quest items that are hidden or lying around on the ground. And you'll click them, but you'll have to go then click another one, but they won't disappear. So other people can do it. These ones disappear. Not only that, but it's a very small area. And there's loads of mobs. And there's like 100 people there. I'm not kidding. It's the most infuriating thing. This place is this giant quarry. So I'm thinking, hey, I'm a mage. I could slow jump. I could base jump. So I start doing it. I start base jumping to try and grab these tablets. And of course I'm floating down there like, yeah, gonna get the tablet. Yeah, I'm flying through the air. I'm awesome. Gotta grab the tablet. There's a rogue there. Oh no! And the rogue grabs it just before I land. And it happens every time. And it makes me want to scream! Really? Why did they do that? Come on! You know better. It stinks of inconsistent design choices to me, and I don't get why they did it. Because they already have mechanisms that work against it. They knew there was going to be problems like this, which is why they had the 2 starting zones to begin with. Admittedly, relatively good idea. Okay, it's not a bad idea. I mean, admittedly, half of a lot of people is still a lot of people, but it's not a bad idea. You'd think that they would, of course, have emphasized this and made it better by ensuring that all of the quests are flag quests, or that these things where you have to pick quest items off the ground, they don't disappear when someone else grabs them. And they don't have a really long respawn time. Because that's horrible. That's not fun. I want to get through my quests, and I'm sitting there for an hour trying to get one quest done because I'm a kind of a completionist. I try to get all the quests done. Because I'm enjoying the story. And this has actually stopped me from enjoying the story. Because I want to get all these quest lines done to see how the story goes along. You've got me into the story now, Blizzard. And now you're going to bear the consequences. Because you've now got in the way of the storytelling by having badly designed quests. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these quests are really fun. There's a lot of really cool quests with some pretty unique ideas. Awful lot of quests which involve the use of items given out for quests. And I like that, because that makes them very unique. There's like a quest where you kill spores. and you freeze them on the ground. I think that's a pretty cool idea, except for the fact that 75% of the spores are evade booked. I'm not kidding, it's not impossible to do that quest on my realm. Because the ones that aren't evade booked get nabbed. Ugh, it's horrible, it really is. But it's like, come on, it's 2 steps forward and then a step back. I'm not going to say 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, because it's not true. It's not, but it is getting in the way of me enjoying the story, and that's something that I think needs to be fixed. And it concerns me. And the reason it concerns me is because we've seen bugs before, and they've carried over, particularly to raiding. That's a bad thing. We know Naxxramas has been tested to death. Absolutely. And it has. Indeed, there's not an awful lot of raid instances available. Nowhere near as many as with TBC. I mean, let's think about it. How many do we have? We had the 10-man Karazhan, we had Gruul's Lair, we had Mike Theridon's Lair, we had Tempest Keep, and we had the one and only Zip and Try and Gavin. Now, pretty much all of those were bugs in one way or another on launch, and it got worse the higher up you got. I mean, the TK was awful, SSC was awful, they had a 45-minute mob respawn time, it made you want to stab yourself in the eyes. It was horrendous. Mike Theridon was bugged, Gruul was bugged and indeed overbuffed, they had to nerf him, they had to nerf like everything, for anyone except for Nihilum to be able to kill him. Nihilum to kill him. You like that? It's great. They're not actually Nihilum anymore, by the way, but I'm sure the Wild Things Considered crew will be talking about that right after the show. Just coming up in half an hour. Pluggity plug, plug, plug. Now, it concerns me because this is one of the issues that Blizzard has had, and that's QA. They make very polished games, but then they don't QA the stupidest things. It's like these quests. These quests are starting quests. Please tell me why they don't work. I mean, come on! Don't tell me they weren't tested! What about the instances? What about the raids? You know, you've got to think that people are going to be in this content and they're going to rattle down, they're going to shake down that content more than anything else. That it's got to be perfect, it's got to work. And it just concerns me, it's like, have you not learned anything? Surely you must have learned something when it comes to bug testing. It scares me a little bit, and I don't like being scared. I'm worried about it. But we'll see. It's not perfect. Wrath is not perfect, and no doubt I'm going to be finding many more things to complain about, including the fact that everyone's a blinking Death Knight and they're all taking my gerbs. Although I wish some of them would actually tank. I tell you that. We've got a shortage of tanks, but of course, you know, most of them haven't got to level 70 yet, but some have. And they're going DPS. It's like, I don't want you for DPS, I don't want another DPS class, I want a tank. Give me tanks, we've got a shortage of them. Everyone's trying to DPS right now. Leave the DPS to the proper classes, like the mages, and the mages. You know, it's a pretty reasonable request. You know, it's min-maxing. You take the best class for the job, which is always a mage, regardless of the role. Healing, mages. Tanking, mages. Hybrid class, mages. Take mages. We even bring food and everything, we've got that crazy focused magic buff, it's great. So yeah, please Blizzard, don't muck it up. Don't muck it up. I mean, people are going to keep buying your expansions. I think you already know that. And you've already got a great reputation. I think you already know that too. Wrath's a good product. It's a very good product. It's got a whole bunch of really cool stuff in it. It's like, it's simple mistakes. It's simple silliness. It's tripping up on issues that you shouldn't be tripping up on after 4 years of development time. You know, and of course it's been in development for way longer. You shouldn't be tripping up on that kind of thing. We've got certain expectations now, and you've set those expectations as one of the few PC companies that hasn't got a horrible reputation for doing really bad things. You've got this rep, and you've got to maintain it. And you've got this great content, and it's got to be maintained. It's got to work first before you keep it maintained and stop it from breaking. Get it fixed. Get it fixed fast. Because it is annoying people. And you're advancing all sorts of different areas. Really. The storytelling arc is second to none. It's great. I love the fact that it's advanced in that direction. But you came up with all these great ideas and you're not using them. I mean, you have changed a few things around, like the multi-wing dungeons. There aren't any of those anymore. It's like one and then a raid, one and then a raid. But, you know, that's something we can talk about in future shows. My concern is that you've got all these great ideas for making questing easier and more user-friendly, especially in high-population areas and servers, and then you abandon them for 3/4 of the questing. I don't get it. Why do that? Why do that? It just wastes people's time. You're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. I want to send this one out to the one and only lovely Jennifer Henderson, who's not actually called Jennifer Henderson anymore. She's called Jennifer Bain. Finally, she's got her name changed to mine. It's great. She doesn't have that silly name at the end. I really need to stop talking now before I get in more trouble. So this goes out to the one and only love of my life, my wife, Ariana, also known as Jennifer Bain. in the real world, which is not all that exciting, I must say. Real world sucks. Let's play some Wrath. This is Sonata Arctica. I thought this was very appropriate. This is Shaman Dali. I'll be right back after this with the illusion of choice, which you can email into themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc@gmail.com. My name is Total Biscuit. This is Blue Please. This goes out to Jen. Enjoy.